Welcome to the Table Podcast series with Bridget Johnson. Each month, we give you game-changing conversations about K-12 education and leadership. Join us as top educators, field experts, and administrators share actionable strategies to transform your school community. Let's dive in.
Welcome to The Table, the podcast where student-life professionals, educators, and changemakers come together to share stories, insights, and ideas for building communities where everyone belongs. I'm your host, Bridget Johnson. Today, I'm thrilled to kick off the second part of our four-part series with my friend, Dr. Kiba Rogers, who's a psychologist, educator, and CEO and founder of Kiba Speaks, LLC, and Third Avenue Psychological Services, PLLC, as well as CEO and co-founder of Rooted, Resilient, and Rising, LLC. Dr. Kiba has spent over 2 decades helping children, families, and educators strengthen their mental, emotional, and social well-being, and she brings that same care and clarity to her work with schools through her Grace, Growth, and Greatness framework. Across the series, we're going to explore what it looks like to lead and live from that philosophy with conversations about sustainability, self-compassion, curiosity, and systems of care in schools. So pull up a chair. Welcome, Dr. Kiba. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you so much, Bridget. I'm excited to be back for part two.
I am super excited to have you. Thank you so much. So, again, the title of this series is Grace, Growth, and Greatness. And if you listen to the last episode, you'll remember we talked about what it happens when a role becomes unsustainable. And today we're going to move from recognition to restoration, focusing on how grace helps us recover from that overextension. And we definitely need to talk about that for sure. So, we'll talk about what grace really looks like in leadership, why so many educators struggle to give it to themselves, and how it can shift the culture of a whole school. And so I really like that piece and looking forward to diving into that. So, Dr. Kiba, let's just go ahead and dive right in. So, grace is central to your philosophy. How do you define it in the context of leadership?
So, this is a great question. And I really had to think about this in terms of what is the difference for leaders versus everyone else. And
Mm,
so, what I thought of is ultimately grace and leadership, it transforms like the authority of a role into the connection with the people that you're working with.
oh, okay. I like
And
that.
then it also turns the power that you have into service. It's really interesting. We've forgotten about servant leadership,
Oh,
right?
service,
We
yes.
we forgot when we were not in leadership, we forgot all the times we said, if I was in that role, I
I
would
would.
do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that. And we have forgotten that we are in service to the people that we lead, right? It's not the other way around. They are not in service to us.
Nope.
But oftentimes we get drunk with power and we start thinking about how they're in service to us. So if we're thinking about grace and leadership is being able to lead with humility, being
Mm-hmm.
able to lead with empathy, and being able to lead with steadiness,
Yes.
right? So you're able to extend your that understanding or compassion to others as well as yourself. So that for me is what grace in leadership means.
I love all of that. And so many educators easily give grace to others, but struggle to extend it to themselves. Why? Why do we do
Oh my
this?
goodness. Oh my
Why?
goodness. Here is the $1,000,000 answer. $1,000,000. You're
Oh,
ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Because we don't really believe that we deserve it.
Oh, really? Is that what it is?
We don't really believe that we deserve it. If everyone can think of their closest friend,
Mm-hmm.
right? The person that they feel like is closest to them right now. When that person messes up, and boy, oh boy, they have messed up royally sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it may not have anything to do with you, their mess up, right? It could be something else they've done. We are so empathic and compassionate, and we extend grace. And I see grace as unmerited favor, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Yep.
not anything that they've earned. We just say,
Mm-mm.
hey, I love you. And this
Okay.
is a big thing, but it's going to be okay. You're human and you mess up. We do all of that for them. But when it comes to us, we think that while they deserve that because they're our best friend and we love them, we, on the other hand, get the self critical voice. The voice
Absolutely.
that says you should know better, you should do better. How could you?
How
Right?
could you?
And it's because we really don't believe that we deserve that love that we give to everybody else all the time.
Wow. You're right, because I am definitely, I can raise my hand to beating myself up and setting the standard so high for myself and being so critical. And
Mhm.
that is not the narrative you want playing in your head all the time.
Absolutely. And we often are told by other people that we don't deserve it.
Mm.
So, just for a moment, as a Black woman growing up in America, there's a lot that is grained in who you are as you are becoming, right?
Yes.
So as when you're very young, you're
Mhm.
told that it doesn't matter what else is going on for you, get the thing done,
Yeah.
right? Get the thing done while you take care of everyone else. And if you yourself haven't showered in a day, it's okay.
Yep.
As long as your little brother's diapers are changed, as long as the food is on the table, that's what matters.
Yep. We
Right? And so
neglect
we
ourselves.
carry that into our leadership roles,
Ugh.
right? We carry that in and we say, hey, I have never had space for me to care about me. This is why now the Trisha Hursty's work on the nap ministry and making sure we have rest. Why do you think that's so popular? Because we actually need it,
Need it.
right? Like it's not popular just because it's catchy. It's
No.
popular because people are like, sis, whoo,
Ooh, please, thank you.
you ain't never
I
lied. Like it's
can I lay down right now?
You know, forget about sitting down. You telling
No,
like,
I need a
Go ahead, sat
recline."
down, sat down, okay? Sat down,
Yep,
okay?
absolutely.
So we need all of that, and I think that we struggle with grace for us because society has told us in many ways that we don't deserve
We
that.
don't deserve it.
And we have accepted that narrative.
Yep.
So remember I said before, we have to think about the things that we actually have control over, the things that we can change.
Mhm.
We can't change that society thinks that about us, but what we can change is what we do with that information,
Yes.
right? I reject that notion,
Yep.
right? I reject the notion that I don't deserve rest. I
Mhm.
reject the notion that I don't deserve grace. I reject that notion, right? But
Yes.
it's okay if you think that about me. I don't have anything to do with that. I don't believe that, right? Because ultimately, I need to take care of myself. And truly, I want to live to be able to lead in whatever way I'm leading. And if I keep doing the things that other people tell me I'm supposed to do, and I don't extend grace for myself, I may not be here much longer because my health will
It
take
will
a
not allow.
downturn.
It won't
Yeah.
allow you, and so, it is absolutely critical that we be able to articulate that, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's easier said than done, Dr. Kiba.
It is usually easier said than done. And ultimately, so this is why I started with we don't believe we deserve it. Because to be honest, we've got to start with our belief system before
Yes.
we do anything. We have to believe that we deserve it. We have to convince ourselves that we are worthy
Mm,
of grace. We have to remember that grace is not earned,
right.
that there's nothing that we can do for grace.
Unmerited favor, didn't you say
Right?
that already?
When the bill collectors give you a grace period, when your landlord gives you a grace period of 5 days, they ain't saying it just because, because you're so special. They're like, "Hey, this is our grace period to help you get yourself
Get
together."
together. Yes.
Like, like, this is our grace period. If you go beyond that, you got a penalty, right? But they're giving you grace
Yeah,
just
just
because they're
because.
recognizing that you're not perfect.
Yeah, and sometimes we forget that about ourselves, and we hold ourselves to such a standard that is not sustainable.
Well, not only do we hold ourselves to the standard, here's the funny part. We hold ourselves to the standard that we can't meet, and then you know what we do? We
Beat
beat ourselves
ourselves
up for
up.
not meeting it.
Beat ourselves up
So
every
we've got
time.
a ridiculous bar that we set. We don't meet it, and then we're like, "Oh, how dare you not meet that
How
ridiculous bar?
dare you?
How dare you not meet that ridiculous bar?"
And then sometimes people use the F word. I call it failure. And
Yes.
that's if you get that one kind of into your narrative playing on repeat, it's no bueno.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we it's funny how we see failure because we'll call something failure and it's like, huh, is that failure or is that
Mm,
just a sign that you needed to do something else?
yeah.
Because we make our goals for ourselves And we might say like, oh, I want to do this. And then we realize like, oh, wait, as we're doing that, we're like, oh, that's not really what I want to do. That's
Hmm.
a failure.
Yeah,
That is
not at
you
all.
shifting and recognizing like, I thought I wanted that, but I actually don't want that. That's not what's best for me.
Yep, not so much. How about that? So let's take this a step forward. So we talk about grace and leading in difficult situations, and we talk about dynamics with students and colleagues. We haven't really talked about parents as much as I thought we might have at this point, but we've got two other series, right? So we've got time. But can you share a story where leading with grace shifted a difficult dynamic with either a student, colleague, or parent?
So the first thing that came to mind was a colleague who, I was leading a team of people, and part of our role was to work specifically with this colleague who was leading a particular aspect of the program in the school. And they weren't as experienced as people thought they were
Okay.
in doing the work. And so, what was happening was when I wasn't showing up to these weekly meetings that my team would have with this person, they'd say like, when you're not in a meeting, it's a mess. And I'm like, well, why?
Right.
Like, what is it? Because I'm looking at the meetings like these are pretty typical meetings. But what I realized was my team wasn't extending grace,
Mm,
and they were looking at the title of that person's position, right? Like they're
mhm.
looking at that title and they're saying, but you should know how to do A, B, C, and D because you are in this title.
Got it.
And so I said to them, I started asking questions. Do you think that she knows how to do that and she's choosing not to do it? And they're like, well, no, I don't think she
No,
knows
why
how to
would I?
do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay. And so do you think you have an idea for how to do it? And they're like, well, yeah. Have you considered offering that? I,
Mhm.
because you're so busy waiting for her to be the title, to do the things that you thought she should do in this title. And maybe you need to just say like, oh, I'm wondering if we could consider this. And I said, and you use the language of, I wonder if we can consider this, because you also recognize that she is in leadership
How about
over you. Like, so you are offering your opinion, and let her take that and figure out what she wants to do with that.
that? Yeah.
And so we did that, and I made sure to go to those meetings, right?
Mhm.
And what I ended up doing was modeling for them in the moment how that looks, and then also how that doesn't turn into them having to do more work, right? Because me offering the suggestion doesn't mean I'm going to do it. It means I think we should consider this,
Mhm.
and let's brainstorm how it can get done.
That's
So,
important. No,
yeah,
that brainstorm piece, but also that modeling piece. And I don't wanna, glaze over that or
yeah,
go over that too quickly. The modeling piece is super important because if we tell people this is how they should do things, but you're not doing that yourself,
exactly.
that's tricky.
Exactly.
Real
It
tricky.
is. And it is very reminiscent of like old school Southern grandma who
Yep.
says,
Do as
do
I
as I
say,
say,
not as
do,
I do.
not as I do.
Absolutely. It does.
Like, okay, Nana. Yeah.
Sure. Whatever you say.
So, but I am, the way that I lead is very much through me modeling for people. So I will have the conversations with you, and then I'll say, okay, check this out. I'm going
Yep.
to do this, right? I'm going to show you. And I'm not even going to just show you in meetings where I am the top leader in the room. I'm going to show you when we're meeting with the head of school, who's my boss,
Yep.
right? And I'm going to show you how I'm doing it with them so that you can understand, like, truly, this is an effective way to work,
Yep.
right? So whatever that is that I'm modeling, but also to show you it doesn't have to be as uncomfortable as it
As it
sounds.
sounds.
Because when you ask people to show up authentically, I mean, they're like, no,
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I
know.
know you do that,
But I
but
don't think I
I,
can. Sorry.
I don't think I could do. Well, you can't do it like me, but you
Right.
can do
You
it,
can do it. Mhm.
right? You can do it in the way that feels comfortable for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great segue into my next question in terms of what does grace look like in practice for leaders who are under constant pressure to perform?
So grace looks like truly recognizing your strengths and limitations.
Mhm.
And that's period. Like when you are pressured to perform, you've got to start thinking about, okay, I'm not, so for instance, some people, their executive functioning skills are just not up to
Not
par,
awesome.
right? So if you know that your job is a job that really, like, you've got to have your planning and your organization and those things in place, what are you going to do to help yourself
Mm,
to get better at that, right? So does that mean maybe I'll look up some professional development, that I'll see if I can get some access to a course that's going to tell me about how to put things in place?
mhm.
Am I going to talk to a colleague who's really great at that and maybe talk to them about their systems and maybe how I can then use those systems? And maybe I'll
Right.
take that colleague out to dinner because I can't pay them, but I can, offer
Yeah.
them a meal, and
Mhm.
they can help me work through, like, this is what you can do, right? So I think really, if we're in practice, Grace is saying in this moment, like, "Ugh, I don't know how to do that." And that's okay.
Yes.
But who can I ask to help me?
Mhm.
What do I need in order to be successful in this? Because I am really struggling in this area. That's what it looks like in real life.
I love that. That's great. And so the other, we talked about giving people, the grace period with your bills and with your landlord. And so and sometimes that's ooh, I'm in a bind or in a bit of trouble, need some grace there. But how can leaders create cultures where grace is the norm and not just a reaction to crisis?
I, a graceful leader values people over performance. You recognize that growth, learning, progress, all of that comes from the imperfections
Mhm.
of mistakes, discomfort, uncomfortable conversations. Like that, if you are really a graceful leader, you are valuing the person that's in front of you, not just what they can do, not
Right.
just how well they perform. And so this allows us to respond rather than react,
Mm.
right? When we're thinking about reacting to crisis, we're not able to respond because we're not even thinking ahead about the things that could come up. The team, if I go back to something I said on the first episode, looking at the team that we have in front of us, not the team that we wish they were, right? So, how do we hold space for differing perspectives? How do we model emotional regulation, especially when things are difficult, and compassion, right? So, when things are pressurized, how are we modeling compassion, emotional regulation, and grace?
Yeah,
We can do hard things together and still honor each other's humanity.
absolutely.
We don't have to
Absolutely.
do one or the other. And I think sometimes, especially when crisis comes up, we shove humanity to the side because we say, "Oh, I don't have time for that." There's no time for humanity because we just need to get through this. And once we get
Right.
through this, then I can ask
And then we can go
about
back
you,
to the
you know? And the reality is, if we just see the people over their performance, then people will run through a burning building for you.
Absolutely. Yes,
If they feel seen, heard, and valued, people will work to their best for you.
they
You
will.
don't ever have to wonder if they are doing all that they can be doing. I've led a number of people over the last 25 years, and 99% of the people that I've led have said, "You have elevated my performance."
That's awesome.
And it's not that I've elevated it because I have been telling them, "You need to do better, you need to get more, you need to do." No, I'm saying, like, this is how I'm showing up, and I'm
Mhm.
modeling for you what you can do, and meet me up here when you're ready. But
Nice.
until you're ready, I'm meeting you where you are, and then I'm just showing you the way.
There you go. And that's what leadership is, right?
That's what it is
Love
in a
that.
box.
I love that. I love that so much. And so, we talked about growth and greatness, but how does grace connect to growth and greatness in your framework?
So I have a saying
Mm.
which was recently trademarked.
Okay.
Yes, as of a couple of weeks ago, it finally went through. So the trademark is: extend grace, encourage growth, expect greatness. So what that means is, if we extend grace to ourselves and others, then and only then can we encourage growth
Mm,
for ourselves and
and
others.
others.
And then we can expect greatness. Now, I want to be clear that greatness is not synonymous with perfection.
Okay.
Greatness is the best I can be in this moment of time doing this thing. I've given you my all. And if we extend grace and expect growth to happen, that means that growth, we're incrementally making some changes. And so our greatness is shifting based on our growth.
I
And
love
our
that.
growth is happening based on the grace that we offer.
That's great. That is awesome. And so I think that's a good place for us to stop for the moment and just want to say, grace gives us room to breathe and that space is where growth happens and that's super
Absolutely.
important for us to remember that. And so Dr. Kiba, where can people find you if they just dropped into the second episode and not the first one?
On LinkedIn, on Instagram, Dr. Kiba Speaks, Grace Growth and Greatness, and Rooted Resilient Rising. Those are all on Instagram. And also, they can see or participate in our second annual Belonging, Affirmation, and Motivation Conference that we have coming up. Myself and my co founder, Ali Morgan, are really excited about it. It's happening on December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's a virtual conference. And December 3rd is our pre-conference institute, is a full day workshop on implicit bias. It's amazing. We have my friend and sorority sister, Dr. Vicky Sapp, who is doing that workshop, and she's phenomenal. And then we have the 4th and 5th are 18 people will be talking about belonging, affirmation, and motivation. And so the early bird price is happening now, saving you $50 until November 3rd. So you can find that on Eventbrite. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Grace gives us room to breathe, and that space is where growth happens. In our next conversation, Dr. Kiba and I explore another essential part of this framework: curiosity. How can we replace judgment with understanding, especially when things get tense or complicated? That's up next. In the meantime, thanks for pulling up a chair at the table today. I hope this conversation gave you something to think about, or maybe even something to try out in your own community. If you're enjoying the table, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, or leave us a comment. It really helps more people find us. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you next time at the table.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Table Podcast Series. Is your student life program delivering on your mission? Our new K-12 student life assessment moves you beyond anecdotes to evidence-based decisions. Through comprehensive stakeholder surveys and expert analysis, you'll get concrete insights across 8 essential dimensions of student life, from culture and wellness to staff effectiveness and resource allocation. We're seeking founding partner schools to be the first to experience this transformative assessment process and help shape the future of student life evaluation. Today's episode was hosted by Bridget Johnson in conversation with Dr. Kiba Rogers, the second of our 4-part series, Grace, Growth, and Greatness, the next of which will air on November 24th. This episode was produced and edited by Andrick Sigmund and music by PremiumBeat.com. For any questions, contact information can be found in the episode description. And, as always, thanks again for listening.